What's up everybody, welcome to a new video. Today's video is gonna be a very interesting video. I thought let's watch the final 16 of the Great Hybrid War. Quick explanation to this video. Before we continue and start it, in this video, quick explanation, we are about to watch which hybrid can defeat the Indom 2.0. We have exactly 16 and we're gonna watch how creative they're made.
On July 22nd, 2024, a nightmare was unleashed that could end an era of mankind. This creature sent ripples across the planet, and the internet took it as a mission to eliminate this animal. Many failed. Many currently think they succeeded, but only a select few might have actually accomplished surviving and defeating the pale horse of pestilence and death. These were the final 16 of the Great Hybrid War, a competition set out to challenge daring, aspiring geneticists to research, craft, and study fictitious hybrids composed of real-life animals, with the end goal of surviving and defeating a 2.0 in single hand-to-hand combat.
So let me get this straight. These hybrids made by real-life animals, and if I'm not wrong, if we have good enough technology, we can make them real. Please, we don't need those to be real.
Out of the more than 1,600 submissions, very few would have been able to kill a 2.0, with even fewer displaying creative body types, high congruence, excellent genomes, and unique combat methodologies that earned them the spot in the final 16. To keep this list interesting, the research team at Goji Center HQ handpicked the creatures that would perform best in a 1v1 matchup against the 2.0, featuring some very unique builds, as you'll soon see. In the next few episodes of the Hybrid War, we'll narrow these down to 8, then analyze the final 4 hybrids in the last episode, bringing forth the winner of this competition. To determine the hybrids,
we're gonna watch all the battles until the final battle. I promise you that, guys.
Spot in the final bracket, the hybrids will be placed in 4 separate groups, depending on their overall build.
So we have 4 and another 4, 2, and a bigger list. So I guess these are same build, maybe also same builds.
With Group A through C consisting only of same builds, and D being a mixture of the remaining 8 with different overall builds. This is to prevent a sauropod versus sauropod or theropod versus theropod evaluation early on in the knockout rounds. A live drawing will be broadcast to all channel members, where we will live stream this drawing to determine which hybrids will stand off in the evaluation rounds. As this bracket closes in on the finalists, you'll find that we'll become even more harsh when evaluating these animals. Yes, even the final 16. The final will truly be the best out of the best.
So the champion of the final 16 against Goji Center's champion,
defeating the 2.0. Without further ado, let us begin with hybrid number 1, Predator Rex. This theropod hybrid submitted by Godzilla fan art can be described as a...
Yo guys, this art looks sick. This looks really like a real animal, straight to the face when you look at it like that. But also terrifying.
Large but not oversized theropod, combining the traits of a variety of predators, modern and prehistoric. Also known as Vega, the hybrid marches into battle almost like a mirror of its opponent. Strong jaws, powerful limbs, armor, and venom all brought to bear. Looking at its genome and how they were used, this creature turns out being a highly resilient combatant with straightforward but practical weaponry. 9 contributors make themselves present, similar to that of the 2.0, using the real-life paleo-accurate T-Rex, Megaraptor, Utah Raptor, Komodo Dragon, Chimpanzee, Pangolin,
T-Rex, Megaraptor, Utah Raptor, Komodo Dragon, Chimpanzee, Pangolin, honey badger, vampire bat, and
Honey
limpets.
badger, vampire bat, and limpets. A combination of strong jaws and claws that was coupled with dexterous forearms that were built to cope with the size and strength. This hybrid will be placed on spot A1 and will patiently
So
await
this
its
is the
opponent in the
theropod group.
evaluation round. Hybrid number 2, Monstratherium brutalis, with a name meaning brutal,
Monstratherium
monstrous
brutalis.
beast. This creature stomps into the platform with a total of
What's
9
that?
genetic contributors, using the Megatherium and Shentungosaurus for build and
Megatherium,
size,
Shentungosaurus.
chimpanzee, thylacoleo, domestic pig, Indian pangolin, African crested porcupine,
What is an African crested porcupine? What is that?
scalyfoot gastropod, and limpets. This is the
Again.
first chiefly mammalian hybrid on this list.
What is a
This
limpet?
ground sloth on steroids combines raw power with the more armored skin
Height 80 feet, seam 80 feet to 20 feet, 5.5 to 7.6 meters. Length 14.3 meters, 13 tons.
and quills of pangolins and porcupines. Further
That's
augments
big.
by the massive Shentungosaurus help it cope with its large size and give
bigger
it
than
time
this
to
one.
leverage its claws and teeth for their best use. One big reason why this creature was selected was an interesting detail that may or may not have been intentionally leveraged by its geneticist at Justabitotus. While studying
What's
the
that
genome,
of a
we
name?
identified a big issue. Scalyfoot gastropod and limpets were seemingly a clever choice when using
Yeah,
it to
what that
augment the
knows.
armor of this animal. However, mentioning that this also reinforces the bones makes possible for this hybrid to suffer from blood poisoning from all the
that's
iron
bad.
leaching into the bloodstream. Isolating this augmentation only to the skin and teeth could avoid this.
Could.
But thankfully,
So he said it could avoid this. Not that it's guaranteed.
apart from adding this buff to mostly the skin, the hybrid also contains domestic pig, contributing to its
Domestic
immune system and ability to reroute toxic buildups.
So the pig wasn't useless at all.
This alone saved this hybrid. This non-sauropod heavyweight will await a rival competitor in spot D1. Time to look at one of the big hybrids of the final 16. Hybrid number 3, Armatus gigantus, the armored giant. Perhaps
a
one of the
sauropod.
simplest yet most effective
That's-
genomes in this
it's a
competition's
sauropod.
sea of submissions, consisting only of Borreliopelta, Stegoros,
Borreliopelta,
vampire
Stegoros,
bats, and Argentinosaurus as the base
Argentinosaurus.
genome. This creature, submitted by geneticist Al Wall, is the most straightforward example in this list of being simple but practical.
It is
This
simple.
giant quakes the earth by stomping
it's
into the
big.
arena with surprising
Imagine how it would be standing next to this big ass giant. He just need to stomp your ass and you're gone.
few augments.
Good that
When
these
the
are
objective was
extinct.
just to put extra armor and
And
spines
that's a
along with the
hybrid.
bolstered immune system of a vampire bat,
Imagine this one is already big, like you will be big to these legs. From here to there, that would be you or me. This one is way bigger.
on top of the same genome this creature enjoys, you don't need much when building on top of
Contributors.
possibly the most powerful land animal to ever exist. The colossal titan that is Argentinosaurus. To fight anything, the
Argentinian
objective
Caliente por el final. ¿Qué mira, bobo? ¿Qué mira, bobo? Anda, anda para allá, bobo. Anda.
is simple. It may not seem like the fastest, and it may take time to land any major hits, but with sheer bulk and armor, it might well weather the storm and lead to a literal crushing victory. This hybrid
And this is why we don't stand below giants.
will sit and wait for the next round on spot B1. Number 4, Caranoceratops barbaricus. The savage
like a
lightning
barbarian.
horned face is our first ceratopsian to enter
Imagine seeing this face. This one looks awesome.
the final 16, consisting of Triceratops and Alamosaurus working together for base and size, Ankylosaurus, Southern Mammoth, Stagonelopus, Scelidosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Stegosaurus, Alamosaurus, Beaded Lizard, and Common
Beaded
Limpet. If there was anything in nature that could stand up to the Tyrannosaurus and win, it was a Triceratops. And the 66-million-year-old grudge is revived with this bruiser stepping into the ring in front of the 2.0. Geneticist Mean Green Good to Go brought us an
Mean green, good to go.
augmented trike sporting a wide variety of armored dinosaurs to keep
Yo.
it protected from head to toe. Alamosaurus
is
for
really
mass
a
and
barbarian.
thermoregulation, Mexican beaded lizard for added defense, and interesting addition of venomous bite to a ceratopsian. Will park the horned menace in spot C1. Armor
one
seems to be a
don't go
common theme
anywhere.
in the final 16, and rightly so. Hybrid number 5,
Wait, what did
theme
he
in the
say?
final 16, menace in spot C1. Armor seems to be a common theme in the final 16, and rightly so. Hybrid
I get it, armor, because the 2.0 can slash so bad. You need armor really bad.
number 5. The appropriately named Armored Titan may not have the plot armor Reiner enjoyed, but it might not even need that. The hybrid brought by Connor the Dinosaur Man
I bet he has even better armor than Titan, bro. He's literally the armored Titan.
comes stomping into the analysis platform with a modest number of 7 contributors. Diplodocus and Argentinosaurus for base and size, Armadillo Lizard, Megatherium,
Diplodocus.
Fruit Bat, Whiptail Lizard, and Tree Frog. The second sauropod Earthshaker
Wait, Diplodocus. He doesn't mean parody Diplodocus?
on the list uses Diplodocus for reach and tail swing speed, with
Nah,
Argentinosaurus for
that's
added
stupid. That's
size and
somebody
bulk.
else.
For close range, a set of sharp claws will make a crushing attack even more lethal and messy. Armored lizards and bat DNA add some valuable resilience inside and out. Whiptail Lizard and Tree Frog mean that in isolation, the Titan could breed at alarming rates and limit the time it would be a vulnerable juvenile, as long as sufficient food is laying around. The long neck was selected
This one
for being a
is smart.
versatile hybrid for its many
Connor
methods of
the
attack,
Dinosaur
but
Man.
may not even need that many with an armored whip capable of cutting lesser animals into
Look at his tail. This one looks like serrated blades that can cut you in half.
two. This hybrid will be placed on slot B2 and eagerly await the round of 16. Next up, one of the most creative designs on this list, hybrid number
creative?
6, the Spinovenator. Also known
Spinovenator.
as Akira, the Spiny Hunter. Brought to us by
Spiny
Yoko Mission
Hunter?
Studios, this hybrid consists of a genome that proves that size isn't
I guess this one is a fraud. This one is a cool dinosaur though, but it's a fraud. Where's the spine? It's no Spino. It's no Spinovenator.
everything.
That's a lie.
Mape, weasel, leopard, jaguar,
Mape, macrothorax, weasel, leopard, jaguar, pallid
pallid
bat,
bat, grasshopper mouse, barn owl, North American
barn owl,
porcupine,
North-
Cape porcupine, Kia parrot,
porcupine,
and honey badger.
parrot,
At
honey
only
badger.
6 tons, the fluffy assassin is a lot lighter than most other theropod entries. However,
Is it bad though that it's light? I guess you can throw it around.
this particular attack methodology will prove that being lighter in this case may prove advantageous. Highly
okay.
intelligent and equipped with the big clawed mape, the most mega of all megaraptors, weasels, panthers, and carnivorous grasshopper mice add on to the claws and teeth while giving Akira the ability to create its own painkillers
What
to
does
stay
the
in the
mouse
fight.
do?
Fluffy but armored, the 2 species of porcupine cover it in bristles and quills for added defense that pricks back. Akira will sit on spot A2, taking the second
Wait, if I'm not wrong, the 2.0 has crocodile armored skin. What does quills do to our crocodile armor? It's only effective against with the mouth, but it's at the mercy of his claws.
spot in the group of theropods.
So yeah, I don't bet my money
Hybrid
on
number
Akira.
7 is a menace from another terrace. The Valkyriopteryx Hygeia is an example of how simple can also be dangerous and effective. And its creator,
Simple.
Dionette, being an example of a bold geneticist bringing a seemingly unconventional lightweight flyer into the arena. One that
Now that's
doesn't even
creative.
weigh 1 full ton, but with an attack that can
Valkyriopteryx
inflict a
Hygeia.
ton of force. The modified pterosaur is built upon the form of the most robust flying apex predator to ever live, Hatzegopteryx. And we
Hatzegopteryx.
appreciate avoiding using the overly used fanciful attack methods that could backfire, like spitting venom or burning acid. Instead, the addition of pileated woodpecker helps reinforce the beak and skull for strong pecs that could potentially crack bone. Lappet-faced vulture helps to buffer up the immune system as well as ramp up aggression. The bald eagle gives the pterosaur an extra weapon most flying reptiles lacked by enhancing the leg muscles and giving it a set of talons across
Talons.
the feet whilst also enhancing vision.
Vision is
Finally,
good.
the streaked tenrec, a distant relative of elephants of all things, helps to bolster the
That's
defense
a
with some
relative to the
strong but very
elephants?
lightweight quills. These quills also give it a unique war cry to confuse its enemy. While
That's a war
flying, this
cry.
animal could produce a high-pitched sound called stridulation.
We
This
don't
is
hear
the
it,
last
so we don't
sound
need to
many
worry.
lesser animals will hear right before the pterodactyl lands on its prey and inflicts the first and final blow. The Valkyriopteryx will perch on slot D2.
So the best thing you need to add not complicated things to your hybrid, and any animal who shares the same attack methodology could do it perfect and no weaknesses.
We have now reached the halfway point of the final 16.
Halfway
Number 8
points.
is the complete opposite of a lightweight ambusher. The
that's not
Pteropelta
lightweight.
brings a large but relatively
Pteropelta.
congruent gene pool of contributors whose
That's
main
not
strategy
Triceratops.
against the 2.0 is defense. Geneticists Omega Pictures brought us a ceratopsian with an ankylosaurid base, almost a dozen other armored dinosaurs adding onto it. From deflecting armor of Gastonia to the optimized tail club of Anodontosaurus. Other members of the genome
That's clever.
increase defense, buff up the internal structure, the modern-day African
Omega
bush elephant
Pictures.
and macaw for increasing intelligence and decision-making, and Mylodon claws for better
Mylodon.
grounding and offense. Its stance is one of
Okay.
the best in the hybrid war, making it close to impossible to tip over or attack.
Remember what the Indominus Rex did to Ankylosaurus. Try doing this at this big ass armored lizard. Nope, you got zero chance. I think even when you shoot it with an M16 assault rifle, if you shoot all bullets at its armor, no chance that it die.
The belly of this beast. Pteropelta is the second and last ceratopsian to make it into the final 16, taking spot C2 before the next
It's heavy too.
evaluation round. Hybrid number 9's genome and the use of its genetic contributors wanted a spot on this final list. Nemifagax Eversur, the
Nemifagax
destroying
Eversur.
Nemesis Eater. Brought forth by geneticists at
This one
Pixel
looks
Studios,
awesome.
this
What a Demon
uncanny
too.
theropod of a different breed apparently never
What the hell is this? Wait, I wish I could zoom because look at his face. What's that supposed to be?
skipped arm day. While some dinosaur genes are
Never
present,
skipped
the
arm
addition
day?
of Dinochirus, Allosaurus
T-Rex,
annex, chimpanzee, and the
wait.
giant baboon
Okay, T-Rex, Acrocanthosaurus, Otodus Megalodon. That's the Megalodon snout. Allosaurus anax. Wait, that's the Saurophagonax. Or it was. Sad. Chimpanzee, Diplodocus, Zulcurrivisator. I can't English. Chinese alligator, northern short-tailed shrew.
Dinopithecus left this contender
Dinopithecus?
seriously jacked, with talons for slashing and
Dinopithecus.
arms for
Dinopithecus is something like a
grasping.
baboon.
Extra armor from the Ankylosaurus zool and the Chinese alligator help protect
Chinese
the flanks
alligator.
and major body parts. All while the Tyrannosaurus jaw structure combined with Acrocanthosaurus give it a muscular body and
Acrocanthosaurus.
strong jaws. A unique and clever addition
That's
to Nemi
nasty.
was the use of Megalodon. Its cartilaginous
Megalodon.
aspect of the skeleton helps bolster the cartilage present on this hybrid, providing extra shock absorption and other benefits.
So let me guess. It's hard to break his bones.
Brawny and resilient. Sheer
Brawny
strength helps
resilient.
make up for any decrease in agility. Nemifagax will back itself up into the third spot, A3 in the theropod build
This one
group of
might be the
hybrids.
strongest theropod.
Another large animal present in this roster of hybrid monstrosities is hybrid number 10, Mundosaurus.
Mundosaurus.
Geneticist LC99's hybrid. The
Bro, look at this face. How is this goofy looking at me right now? Bro, I would slap him if he looks at me like that.
universe reptile stomps into the competition with another
I'm
small
lying.
yet
I would not
congruent
slap.
genome, featuring the Apatosaurus, Shunosaurus, the well-known Argentinosaurus,
Argentinosaurus,
Kentrosaurus, and
Kentrosaurus.
opossum.
Opossum?
This medium, or some would say a small sauropod, initially sounds like a bad
It is really small. Small compared to the other one.
idea compared to prior titans, but at 30 tons, Mundosaurus still has more than enough mass to throw around. The muscular Apatosaurus genome is back for revenge after what the Indominus Rex did in Jurassic World, granting it a body that is both brawny
But
and
does he
yet
get
with a
his
huge
revenge
reach,
or not?
taking on the Tail Club Sauropod
question.
Shootosaurus for an optimal weapon and Argentinosaurus for bolstered size and armor. This hybrid has some fantastic congruency for picks within a single family. Kentrosaurus further adds to the armor on the outside, and an unexpected addition in the Virginia opossum gives resilience to both bacterial infections and venoms on the inside. Fun fact, these innocuous marsupials are actually extremely resistant to venom, able to hunt venomous snakes.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
are also one of the only mammals completely immune to rabies and numerous
is
other
rabies?
viruses. Mundosaurus will take the third slot in the sauropods list on B3 and will
But now honestly, how you gonna take down those Apatosaurs? How you gonna take down those giants? This is a big question for me now. Like all of them are right now in a disadvantage because if you try to approach it, it's gonna stand on its hind legs and try to crush you or hit you with its tail and neck.
await the next round to begin.
I'm so
The genome of hybrid number 11 is the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Geneticist
fix it.
Nacho Pups brought us a highly congruent theropod
Nacho
with minimal
Pups?
additions with other sources.
what is that
Theropod
if I may? Wait,
Rex, a combination of extremely
Theropod Rex.
agile Tyrannosaurus,
Yo, why is he looking like that? Bro, why is he looking like that?
lightweight but efficient armor from
Something's
several
probably
types of
with him.
Abelisaurs, and the claws and
Tarbosaurus,
shredding teeth of several
Carcharodontosaurus,
Carnosaurs. Built on top of a
Rajasaurus,
Carcharodontosaurus-based
and more.
genome, there is plenty of efficiency out of the gate. Dexterous arms from orangutans further help with grappling and leveraging those
Orangutans are-
teeth and claws. Theropod dinosaurs dominated the big carnivore role in virtually every ecosystem for over 100 million years for a very good reason. Simplicity and practicality are some of the best policies in the Great Hybrid War.
That's true.
This hybrid snags the last spot in the Theropod builds group, leaving only 5 spots left for the round of
1,
16.
2, 3, 4,
Time to
5.
show a unique hybrid, and one that may come as a surprise to most people. Maybe even the creator geneticist Chris Wobsevenson. Hybrid number 12, Gigantotherium. A name
is
meaning
that?
gigantic beast may be more suitable
Why
for
does
an
it look
animal
human?
other than an ape,
It
especially
looks-
given that
it's
these
an ape?
animals have some pretty
Okay,
strict limits on
explains
how
everything.
large they could get. However, the creator cleverly found a
large?
workaround, using the monster sloth Megatherium as a base
Megatherium,
and Gigantopithecus for
Gigantopithecus.
ape-like traits. This 8-ton
Indian
Goliath
elephant,
is the genius
giant
bruiser of the
ground
competition.
pangolin, orca,
With
and
multiple
more.
contributors for intelligence, such as elephants and orca, its combined instincts, if used correctly, could give it enough smarts to leverage weaponry granted
5.2
from
meters
other
height,
contributors.
5.5
All while
meters in
flexible
length,
pangolin armor helps
8.5
keep it
tons.
defended from head to toe to weather hits as it bashes, bites, claws, and brings weapons to deadly purpose. If wielding the right weapon or tool and leveraging
Any
dexterity,
products
this
ever
creature could pull off a surprising
Whoa. That's not Nemifagax Everson. Yo, Goji Center. That's a mistake.
win against the Pale Menace.
Just playing the
The
wrong
ape hybrid
hybrid.
will settle along with the other
That's
exotics in
Nemifagax.
D3
That's
and await the next
Gigantotherium.
round. Hybrid number 13 is a pleasant surprise. Something
Pleasant.
born of the Mesozoic, but not just of dinosaurs, stomps into the platform. Patterned after the sauropod-like crocodilian relative Silosuchus, geneticist
Silosuchus.
DB4's Lucanovenator is augmented with strong body armor from other
Lucanovenator.
crocodilian cousins and armored dinosaurs. Orangutan arms and intelligence round out a body bolstered with size and thermal regulation
Silosuchus,
thanks to the
Alamosaurus,
Alamosaurus.
Simusuchus,
Resilient, simple,
Pitisacosuchus,
agile, and practical.
wait, Psittacosaurus, Sauropelta, Stegoros, Orangutan.
With no major weaknesses. This hybrid combines surprising resilience with exceptional reach and agility. Armored and yet quick, it can both tank hits as well as go on the offensive with charges and swipes to either push forward with an offense or fall back on defending. Lucanovenator will fall to position on slot D4 and watch the last 3 hybrids take the remaining spot.
So this one is kinda a theropod, but it's not a theropod.
The hybrid war was flooded with many unique submissions, but a hybrid that clawed its way to the final 16 with one of the few clever methods of inflicting
Dracosuchus.
venomous bites was number 14, Arctosaurus horridum. The bear reptile submitted by geneticist KC1401 actually uses the ancient croc cousin from the Mesozoic, The body of the biggest land predator the world had ever seen outside of dinosaurs, Facilosuchus, Tyrannosaurus rex, and Kodiak bear further augment mass and muscular distribution along the body and jaws, increase senses, and those bear arms will be no joke at this scale. Here's the interesting part. Gila monster DNA was added for a practical venom attack without having potentially breakable snake fangs. This creature...
Hey guys, who remembers the wild crats? One of them got bitten by this Gila monster,
added benefit of scaly armor works in tandem with that of a Cuban crocodile to provide protection. The scrappy Wolverine further enhances its resilience, as well as those killer fangs. The robust brawler is not the largest, but definitely one who can swipe, claw, and wrestle before landing a devastating bite that just might refuse to let go. Its lighter weight helps this bruiser keep the agility it might need in a confrontation. The bear reptile takes slot D5 and patiently awaits its rival. There are only 2 spots left in the final 16, and now we'll reveal the last sauropod to squeeze into this group of powerful builds. Hybrid number 15, the Aetherotitan Christus, aka Behemoth, name meaning Heavenly Titan of Christ. Submitted by geneticist...
That's an awesome name. And that's gnarly looking dinosaur.
Azuarius, the creator of this hybrid, submitted what might have been one of the biggest entries to make it this far. A titan clad in spiny armor built upon the Argentinosaurus as well, Behemoth thunders into battle with a menagerie of extra armor from familiar sources. From the pangolin to the dwarf crocodile, and several types of ankylosaur for extra plating and spikes. It also has wedge-tailed eagle vision and flying fox traits that enhance its immunity to various bacteria and viruses. Being this heavy means sacrificing maneuverability. However, at this scale, and being this well defended, all of its vitals are well off the ground, and any part in easy grabbing or biting range like the legs or belly is coated in defenses or spikes. Anything it crushes, it will destroy. The last righteous sauropod earns its spot in this group on slot B4, leaving only just one. You may have noticed that the last remaining slot resides in the unique builds group. This entry made it to this list not only because of its prowess and build, but to the merit of its creators, who decided to use an underrated herbivore family as the base, Hadrosaurs. Meet the last entry to the final 16, Yamabrontorax maximus, or as its creator geneticist Hardy Maximus names it, Gilgamesh. Believe it or not, this hybrid was built upon possibly one of the most powerful land animals to ever exist outside of the sauropod build, Shantungosaurus, an animal that almost perfectly hits the sweet spot between size and speed. Gilgamesh is agile enough to easily keep pace with faster opponents and press the attack, but having more than enough mass to leverage its weight and power.
Shantungosaurus, Camarasaurus, Komodo dragon, Boreal Pelta, Tyrannosaurus rex, Western gorilla, Simosaurus, pit viper, fruit bat.
To crushing blows. What it lacks on major obvious weapons, raw force from impact can more than make up.
It has teeth. It's gonna bite.
For it. With long legs helping with a straightforward charge, the spiny armor further augments every blow and attack angle. In close quarters, these could prove devastating. Any attempt by a rival to grapple, restrain, pounce, or climb atop runs the heavy risk of getting thrown off and trampled before the body whips around for a crushing hit. These, ladies and gents, have been the top 16 entries of the first hybrid war.
So he says the first hybrid war. When this one is over, there'll be another one, if the people are creative. I don't think I'm gonna take part on this.
Coming up, the 16 competitors will wait and see where they will be placed in the final bracket. This event will be live streamed for members at a...
Wait, what is that?
A future date. The resulting bracket will be publicized and the real tournament will begin. First, narrowing the contenders to 8 hybrids that can fight the 2.0 more effectively and pull off more wins. As we move on to the grand finale, the final 4 will face serious scrutiny, laying bare their flaws and weaknesses that could cost them their life. At the end, only the strongest will rise victorious, marking the end of this hybrid war and the beginning of a new era.
Hot intake, this war will be definitely something I would watch. If you want to do so, go ahead and do so. And before I end this video, leave a like and subscribe. Check out Goji Center's channel. I would recommend it if you are interested for so. But for me, it's now the end of this video. I hope you like it and we see us later.